Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about Li Auto, ticker symbol LI, and this is a Chinese electric vehicle company whose stock price has recently surged. Right now, the LI stock price is trading for around $39 per share. However, very bearish investors think that the company is worth somewhere around $19.50, while very bullish institutions who have set price targets for this company think that the company could surge all the way up to around $62 per share in the next 12 months. Now, if we take the average about what all of the bulls and bears are saying in regards to investors who have given price targets about this company, they think that the company should be worth somewhere around $41.05, and $39 is hovering near that price target. So now let's dive deep into these articles to determine what the true stock price is for this company and why the stock price is absolutely surging. So for more videos like this one, remember to go and smash that like button right now, comment your thoughts down below or your favorite electric vehicle company, subscribe if you are new, and without further ado, let's jump right into today's stories. So if you didn't know, on Friday, Li Auto got a huge order for its L9 electric vehicles, and this is one of its flagship electric vehicles, which is a smart SUV. The order consisted of over 30,000 reservations just in a 72-hour period. So this vehicle is clearly available for registration, and clearly it's extremely popular. The Li Auto stock has absolutely surged in the past month, and recently it's been up around 6.63% following the news of these reservations. Also, more good news for electric vehicle companies over in China is that the Chinese government was considering an extension of the country's tax exemptions on electric car purchases, as well as other new energy vehicles called NEVs. I also want to mention that Li Auto has gotten around $22.4 million just for their L9 orders of their new smart electric SUVs. The reason for this influx of money is because to reserve one of these smart SUVs, customers will have to pay around $746.56 for a deposit, which is refundable for a limited time, and this kind of holds their position in line to receive one of these new electric vehicles. The deliveries for these flagship smart L9 SUVs are anticipated to start by the end of August. And anticipation for this has actually caused the Li Auto stock price to absolutely skyrocket. Right now, the stock is trading up around 22.2% year to date. And this is very impressive for a growth stock, because right now, growth stocks and technology stocks, including electric vehicle stocks, have actually been hit very hard because of the current very bearish and negative stock market environment. If we look over at Li Auto's LI stock, just in the past month, the company has surged by around 81.02%, which is give or take around $17 to $18 added per share to their overall stock price. And to me, this is very impressive. Clearly, this company is building momentum, and they are showing that they are one of the best electric vehicle companies over in China. Now, personally, I actually like many of the electric vehicle companies over in China right now, and I do think Li Auto's L9 SUVs are acting as a fantastic catalyst, which is causing the Li Auto stock price to absolutely surge. However, when other new technologies come out, we are also going to see more hype for NIO and Xpeng and BYD, which we will talk about in this video, because these other companies are strict competition for Li Auto. Also, I'm going to briefly touch on Tesla, which is also going to be the main competition over in China for these electric vehicle companies, because as Tesla continues to expand outside of the United States and they start to penetrate the huge electric vehicle market over in China, it's just going to make the competition even more fierce, which is going to lead to even more technological advances when it comes to electric vehicles. So with that being said, let's start talking about some of Li Auto's competition. And we're going to start off, of course, talking about NIO, Xpeng, and Tesla. If you didn't know, all of these companies are electric vehicle companies. However, NIO, Xpeng, and one of my personal favorite companies, which is BYD, are all located over in China, while on the other hand, Tesla is a company located here in the United States, and they sell over in China because they have a huge electric vehicle market. The 5 of these companies together are set to absolutely dominate the Chinese electric vehicle market. However, they are going to start stepping on each other's toes. Lastly, I want to say that out of all of these companies, I do own a little bit of all of them. However, for my personal allocations, I have Tesla, then NIO, then BYD, then Xpeng, and then Li Auto. And if you've watched my videos for long enough, you know that I don't overexpose myself more than a 5% allocation to single companies. Lastly, I want to mention before we get too into this article is that BYD is a huge company that is relatively overlooked by the majority of investors that I've talked to. BYD is literally the homegrown EV giant over in the Chinese market, and although this particular article highlights BYD's ticker symbol as BYDDF, in the brokerage platforms that I use, the ticker symbol is actually BYDDY, and it might be different depending on what brokerage you are using, but at least for me, BYDDY is the ticker symbol for BYD in the brokerage accounts that I use. However, I do want to say that Li Auto actually has a secret weapon that they are going to use against Tesla, and we are going to discuss what that is in this article. As the Chinese government decides to extend their tax-advantaged policies for NEVs, also known as new energy vehicles, which include all types of electric vehicles, plug-in hybrids, as well as fuel cell vehicles that use hydrogen fuel cells. And honestly, guys, I am extremely bullish on hydrogen fuel cell technology. If you actually go in and look at a hydrogen fuel cell car compared to an electric vehicle car, hydrogen fuel cells have way more energy packed into them, and I hope that eventually this type of technology will continuously innovate and even overtake electric vehicles someday. But that is going to be way in the future. Right now, we are talking about electric vehicles, and China is literally the largest market in the entire world for new energy vehicles, specifically for electric cars. The EV sales happening over in China has literally more than doubled since 2021, despite headwinds in 2022, and we will talk about those headwinds because in April there were actually lockdowns which negatively impacted the amount of electric vehicles that could be sold within China due to these lockdowns. However, companies like Li Auto have done very well despite these lockdowns, and the Li Auto stock, like we said earlier, has actually surged up to where now it's trading above the 10 and 40 week averages, which is an absolutely huge rally for this company. So hopefully you can either A, take some profits off of this massive rally, because eventually I do think that the hype will come back down in the short term for the stock. This is just a short-term catalyst that is causing the stock price to surge, and eventually the hype will wear off and the company will fall back down. However, if you have a really good and low average cost for this company and your cost basis isn't very high, there is no problem in just holding this company for a longer period of time and not even taking profits. So for me personally, I am not a stock trader, even though I do tend to trade stocks from time to time. My average cost basis for Li Auto is so low, I am not even going to take profits. I'm just going to hold it for the long term. However, despite Li Auto stock absolutely surging and Xpeng, ticker symbol XPEV, also gaining around 7.9% in their stock price, other companies such as Tesla, NIO, and BYD have not had the same success recently. Now, one of the reasons why this could be is because on Thursday, Li Auto's CEO actually suggested in a tweet through Twitter that they are going to be using a third generation EV battery from CATL. And the reason why this is fantastic news is because this particular type of battery actually has an edge over other electric vehicle batteries on the current stock market. For instance, Tesla is coming out with their 4680 battery, and that is going to be absolutely phenomenal, and that could act as a catalyst for the TSLA stock price. However, Li Auto's new battery from CATL offers a 13% increase in power versus Tesla's new battery. And the really funny thing is that CATL serves both Tesla and Li Auto as customers. However, it seems that Li Auto is going to get the edge before Tesla when these batteries actually come out, which will lead to a mass production of these particular type of batteries in 2023. Now, I do want to put on your radar that there are other companies operating and trying to figure out a more efficient and effective way to use electric vehicle batteries, such as solid-state batteries. However, regardless, it really comes down to the manufacturing ability of of these particular companies because they could always outsource or even buy batteries off of third-party vendors. So it really comes down to, is Li Auto a good stock to buy right now? Well, right now I would actually say that the stock price is rather high, and if we go back to our original price targets for the company, it's really close to its 12-month price target. It's not trading at much of a discount, and I personally only like buying stocks at a big discount. And right now, they're around their fair value price, and I am glad that the stock price has surged. However, I do want to say that there are other electric vehicle manufacturers and companies that are increasing their technologies, and it's going to be very harsh competition for Li Auto. Lastly, I want to say that Li Auto does have very impressive metrics from both analysts as well as financial institutions. For instance, Li Auto's short-term technical score is a 98, which means for the short term, this company has traded more bullishly and positively over the last month than 98% of stocks on the market, which is no surprise because, like we said earlier, in the past month, the company has surged by over 80%. So clearly, the majority of the market hasn't been able to replicate that same momentum, because if we look at other companies, they are crashing or pulling back because of the negative bearish environment that we are finding ourselves in due to a bear market, a stock market crash, and a recession that we find ourselves in, as well as we have to pair that with rising interest rates and increasing inflation until the Federal Reserve gets those things under control. However, at least for the short term, Li Auto has been a fantastic company to hold, which I will pat myself on the back for that. I've talked about Li Auto multiple times on this channel. However, I mainly focus on NIO stock. I was reporting on Li Auto back when the stock fell to as low as $24.28. However, according to analysts' recommendations, they are a strong buying opportunity. However, we do have to take this with a grain of salt because, one, analysts, whatever they say, we do have to take with a giant grain of salt and use it more as a guidance and not actually what the company will be worth or is worth right now. And then lastly, like I said, there is not much upside opportunity left in Li Auto for this year unless you intend to trade the company. So that's going to come down to the type of investor you are personally. Overall, Li Auto has a score of around 64, which is above the score of 50 that we really want to see for certain companies. Now, some other analysts have actually chimed in to say that the long-term technical rank of Li Auto is 93. That means over the last 200 trading days, this company is going to outrank 93% of all other companies on the stock market, and over the last 200 trading days, this company was a huge winner. So hopefully, you got to hold this company through the long-term volatility that we have experienced with it, and I hope that you periodically took profits along the way, unless you have a very low average cost for this company. And to me, this is rather impressive because it only means that around 7% of other companies actually outperformed this company in terms of stock price appreciation. So I do want to pat myself on the back for calling out this stock a really long time ago. Thank you for the investors that have actually held with this stock back when it was only trading at $24 per share when I started to report on the company, and I just appreciate all of you watching these videos and commenting your thoughts down below. Now again, I am going to make mistakes when I call out companies. I'm saying that Li Auto is a good company because it is a part of a huge electric vehicle market over in China. However, I want to say this one last time that Li Auto is by no means my favorite electric vehicle company, and it's not even my favorite electric vehicle company that is over in China. But I am glad to see that one of our stock plays has definitely paid off by holding it for over a year, because I am a long-term investor that really likes the long-term stock price appreciation. I'm not really into trading stocks every day, every week, every hour, or every month. I want to buy solid companies that have great metrics, they have institutional backing, they have high price targets, and they are fundamentally a solid company. So with that being said, what do you all think about the Li Auto stock price absolutely surging, and how do you think they stack up with other electric vehicle companies over in the Chinese market? With that being said, remember to go and smash that like button, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next YT video.